Well, good morning. I am Ramanda Noble Watson, the Director of Communications and Public Relations with the South Carolina High School League. And it is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 Football State Finalist Press Conference sponsored by the Carolina Panthers. With us this morning, we have coaches and players from classes 1A, 2A, and 5A. Unfortunately, the commissioner of the South Carolina High School League, Dr. Jerome Singleton, could not be with us today, but he sends his congratulations to each and every one of you on reaching it to the state finals. From Class 1A, we have Johnsonville High School, coached by Ken Cribb. Coach, please introduce us to your players.
Oh, to my left here, I got Malik Shippey, our quarterback, and to my right here, I got Travis Wilson, wide receiver, DN, running back, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Okay, well, welcome on in. And they will match up against Christ Church, coached by Quinn Hatfield. Coach, Coach, could you please introduce us to your players?
Yeah, good morning. Right here, I got senior middle linebacker, H-back, Jake Good. Right here, I got Deshaun Reeder, senior running back, safety.
All right, welcome on in. And competing in Class 2A is Gray Collegiate Academy, coached by, excuse me, Adam Holmes. Coach Holmes, please introduce us to your student athletes.
Well, good morning. Here to my right, we have JT Sal, our center, senior, and to my left, Rylan Cunningham, senior, strong safety.
Welcome in to both three of you all. And they will match up against Oceanside Collegiate Academy, coached by Chad Wilkes. Coach Wilkes, your players, please.
To my left, I have Ben Britton, offensive and defensive lineman. And to my right, I have CJ Moscos, wide receiver DB.
Well, welcome in, gentlemen. And finally, from Class 5A, we have White Knoll High School, coached by Nick Pelham. Coach Pelham, who do you have sitting with you?
Good morning. We have Austin Cunningham, wide receiver for us, and then Jaden Kimball, our outside linebacker, will be joining with us very soon.
Okay, well, we'll welcome Jaden in when he gets in. And they will match up against Dutch Fork High School, coached by Tommy Knotts. Coach Knotts, please introduce us to who you have with you today.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. This is Dakota Jordan, number 55, defensive lineman that's going to be playing in the North-South game. And this is John Hunt, our quarterback, senior, fine quarterback coming off a couple of injuries.
We're glad to see that you're doing better with John. So thank you for those introductions. And we will begin today's press conference with a brief summary of your season. And we will start with Class 5A and Coach Pelham. Please give us just a short, brief rundown of your season.
It's been an excellent season. It's been a wonderful season. It's been a long season, as I'm sure all the other coaches are going to say the same thing, and all the players are going to say the same thing. We had high hopes coming in, but we weren't really sure exactly how high those hopes could become. We started out very strong in our non-region, and we won some games, some really close games in our region play. Then we had a little break. We had a bye that was very late in the season, and really rejuvenated us and re-energized us. And now we're playing some pretty good football in the playoffs, where we've had some pretty good success against Fort Dorchester, Sumter, and Somerville. We look to continue it on Friday.
All right. Thank you, Coach. We'll come back to you all. And they will match up, of course, against Dutch Fork. And Coach Knotts, can you just give us the ins and outs of your season?
Well, I guess we probably got the most losses of any championship team here. We've got 5 losses. We struggled early. We've had numerous injuries. Sometimes we couldn't get out of our own way. But I think we've turned it around, and I think we're clicking now. Playing our best football of the year right now. We've won some really close games, so we're battle tested. We're ready to come and see you, Coach Pelham.
All right, I'm sure it's going to be a great matchup, and we're going to move on to Class 2A and Coach Holmes from Gray Collegiate. Give us a rundown of your season, please.
Well, I think we probably had one of the most different seasons, I guess you could say, this year. With some of the situations and adversity that we faced, but our guys did a great job of facing that adversity. Had an opportunity to go out and play a lot of great teams from out of state and IMG and St. John's and Clearwater, which I believe got us ready for making a playoff run and playing teams like, Strom Thurmond in the second round and Abbeville in the third round, and then face another great team like Oceanside this Thursday. So proud of our guys for where they battled through all the outside noise and the adversity they faced, and excited to be here.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and we'll get back with you all, and they'll match up against Oceanside Collegiate and Coach Wilkes. Tell us about your season.
We are definitely happy to be where we are at this point. It's been a long road. We faced a lot of adversity at different times throughout the year. We lost a couple early, and we've been very, very unfortunate with our injury situations. We've lost 5 offensive starters to year-ending injuries this year at different points, including our senior captain quarterback last game of the regular season. But through every single hurdle that we've had, our kids have just continued to fight through every event that's happened that has been negative. Even the positive events, they've been able to take that and use that to build momentum. And we've played better and better as the year has gone on. Our defense has been really good all year. It took a while for our offense to get going, but over the past few weeks and through the playoffs, we've scored 40 plus every week. So, we really feel like we're hitting our stride, and we're really excited to play Gray on Thursday. They're a great team, and we're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Coach, so much. And lastly, we're going to hear from our 1A coaches and Coach Hatfield at Christ Church. Can you just tell us a little bit about your season and how you matriculated here to the state finals?
Yeah, it's been a real fun season. I mean, these guys are just a competitive group of guys. Love being around each other. There's been very little complaining on this team, very unselfish team, and we've really gotten better each week. We had a lot of holes to fill from last year's team, and started out and got knocked down a few times, played Gray Collegiate, the season opener, and a state champion up in North Carolina we played, and then out of region and out of classification with Riverside, and just got battle tested early, which really helped us. And some adversity guys responded to, and we just kept improving, and had a region championship on the line, and last regular season game on the year, played one of our best games, and so got a 1 seed in the playoffs, and kind of been rolling from there, and playing our best ball right now, and guys are hungry and looking forward to a rematch against the Johnsonville Flashes.
All right. And speaking of Johnsonville Flashes, we're going to close out our coach's summary with Coach Cribb from Johnsonville. Can you give us a rundown of how the Flashes made it here to the state finals?
Well, we've had a good season. At one time we were 2-2. We started off a little slow. We had some young guys that got through in the fire early, and they kept the faith and just kept working hard, and we kept getting a little better every week. And it seems like now we're playing our best ball here at the end. Won a lot of close games. That just talked about the mental toughness of these guys, and they don't get too high, they don't get too low, and they definitely don't quit. And I'm proud to be their coach.
Well, thank you so much, coaches, for that insight. And so now we get to get our first chance to hear from our student athletes, and we will open the questioning with Class 2A and Gray Collegiate. And this is for Rylan. Tell us, how has this year been special, making it here to the Play for State Championship?
I mean, like Coach Holmes said a minute ago, it's been really different. And so even away from the title, we've gotten a chance to do things that not a lot of students get to do in this country period. And it's been a great experience staying plays out of state that we've never even been to in our outside of school lives. But just making it to this point is, I mean, there's nothing better. Like, as a senior, you can't really leave in a better way than making a state title and winning a state title.
Absolutely. And JT, with this being your senior year, what does it mean for you to be playing for a state title?
It's an unbelievable experience. I've won a state title my sophomore year. So I know what it's like. I know how the celebrating is afterwards. I know really the hype around it, and it's everything you would imagine it to be. It's surreal.
All right, a surreal moment. That's a great word for that. And so just sit back, gentlemen, and I'm gonna come back to you all shortly. But I need to go on to your opponents in Oceanside. We will begin with Ben. How has your team handled the adversity of fighting through those key injuries that was talked about this year?
Just next man up all the time. A lot of guys have prepared. Everyone works very hard. So the injuries obviously suck. A lot of great players got hurt, but we still had a lot of good guys who work hard to come in and play well.
Okay, well, that's good that you all had someone to pick up your teammates. And for CJ, what has been the key to your team getting back to the state championship this year?
Definitely just how hard we work, and every single day we're ready to work, and we're just prepared for this moment. A lot of guys have been here already, and everybody just wants to win, and that's what we do.
All right. Well, somebody is going to win on this weekend for sure. So we're going to come back to you all, and so now we just have to switch gears a little bit and go to class 1A, and we'll start with Johnsonville. And Malik, what does it mean to be back in the state championship game this year?
It means a lot. Like I said, after Friday night, a lot of people don't get to make it to the state championship one time. I'm lucky enough to make it twice. So it just means a lot as a senior just going to state once again.
All right. And Travis, as he talked about, you all are returning. So what did you learn from last year's game to help prepare you for this year's game?
We just gotta play hard and listen to the coach, and hopefully we'll get the job done. Nothing really.
That key word is listen to the coach. I guess he's gotten you this far for sure. So, and to your opponents in Christchurch, Jake, what has been the most challenging part of getting back to this point?
I think the most challenging part was definitely the adversity we faced early in the season. Last year we won a lot of games, and we had a lot of the same guys on the team. So I think it was really just being humble and grounding ourselves and taking ourselves back to step one so we could really build as a whole unit. And I think that's what helped us to make it this far.
All righty. And Deshaun, at what point did you realize that you all are putting it together so that you can make it to the state finals again?
I would say after our Riverside game, after our loss there, we actually came a lot closer together with our bonds together as a team. And the practices, we played hard, practiced hard. And during that next game, we just put it on them and made a good run and made it this far. So we're going to keep it going.
All righty. Thank you so much. And so our 5A participants have been sitting patiently. So now it's your turn to speak. And we are going to start with Dutch Fork and Dakota. How did the team respond to starting the season 2-5?
We had to pick up ourselves because last year we were used to winning so many games by so many points. But this year we had new starters. So we just had to build our team up and strive through.
And so as a follow-up to that question, one of our media members, Thomas Grant, at what point would you say that turnaround actually started to click?
Once we hit that fifth loss, we were like, we can't lose no more. And we just started practicing harder, playing harder. Coaches hyped us up, and it helped us get through the season.
All righty. And John, how do you feel about the state championship rematch with White Knoll?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. It's going to be huge. We've faced them once. They're a tough team, and we're really excited.
Well, that's good. And speaking of White Knoll, we have another media question from Thomas Grant, and it will go to, of course, Austin, since you're here with us. What was the moment that you realized that White Knoll could be a state finalist team?
I knew we back in February when we first started that we were going to make a nice run. But I mean, we practice hard every day. I think we're well prepared for Friday. We'll be good.
All righty. Well, those are all the questions I have for my student athletes right this minute, but I did need to get back to the coach just for a moment, to Coach Holmes. Thomas Grant just submitted another question, and his question to you is, what are the similarities and differences between this year's team and the state championship team from 2021?
Well, I think, some similarities were, in 2021, just like this year, we've got 15 seniors. We got a lot of seniors, guys that are leading our football team. Last year we got knocked out in the second round, only had 4 seniors. These guys have been working hard since last year to get back to this point. So I think that's the biggest thing. And differences, really, we've got a lot of guys that can do things on both sides of football. Back in 2021, you had Casey Adams, who was all-time state leading rusher, rushed for 3,000 yards. Offensively, we're well balanced. We've thrown for over 2,000 yards, rushed for over 2,000. Defensively, our front four is probably one of the better we've had, and we have senior linebackers, Kane Williams, and guys like Ryden on defense that are putting us in the right position. So it's a collective whole this year of guys really stepping up and doing the things the right way.
Okay, well, thanks for that answer. Well, gentlemen, those are all the formal questions we have for our participants, but often as I do during the press conferences, we like to give our viewers a insight on what happens off the field. So with that, I have a question for the coach and for the student athletes, and we're of course going to start with the coaches. And this is the question. If you were not coaching football, what other sport would you choose to coach? If you were not coaching football, what other sport would you choose to coach? And we'll start with our 5A coaches. Coach Pelham, football or?
Oh, that's simple. I love basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. I grew up in the upper Midwest, and it's a passion up there. So some of my best memories are going to playoff basketball games with my father, and I would definitely choose basketball if someone would hire me. I don't know about that.
Okay, Coach Knox, what do you have for me?
I also basketball. I love basketball. I'm a Duke man. I like the big aspect I like about basketball is there's only 12, 15 players on a team, 5 people out there coaching. It's a lot easier to orchestrate your schemes and things in basketball than it is football. And I'll take Pelham any day one-on-one in basketball.
Okay. Okay, Coach Pelham. Basketball, I guess since both of y'all chose it. Coaches, I'm gonna move away from you just for a hot second. I see that Jaden Kimball has joined us at White Knoll, so we want to welcome him in. And Jaden, thank you for being able to join us. So the fact that you just got here, you get put on the hot seat, and I promise you, it's not really hot. It's just that's what they say. So one of the question that I have for you, Jaden, is if you could describe the feeling in 3 words about making the state championship, what would those 3 words be?
Crazy, exciting, and unexpected.
And so for you, what was the first word? I missed the first word.
Crazy.
Crazy, exciting, and unexpected. So for younger kids who may be eventually going to come across this YouTube video and see you gentlemen sitting here for the championship, what would you tell them? How can they be sitting in the same seat, the hot seat, as I said?
You should really just take everything seriously. You should be really dedicated to the weight room, practice time. Practice is the most important thing about the whole season. So you should take that as serious as possible if you want to take your team anywhere, honestly.
Okay, well, thank you so much for hopping in and getting on the hot seat and answering your questions so diligently. I appreciate that. So with that, I'm going to go back to my coaches. So now, coaches, you've all had an opportunity to think about what other sport would you coach other than football? And so now we're on to our 2A coaches, and Coach Holmes.
Well, that's an easy one. I've been a golf coach. I've coached golf before. I was a scratch golfer before I got into having 4 kids and coaching football. So what's better than going out to the golf course every day and swinging clubs? And that's pretty easy. That's a fun deal. So if I wasn't coaching football, I'd be coaching golf.
So see, the part I left out was it can be a sport that you've already coached. So
I've coached about everything. So I don't know. I've coached basketball, I've coached baseball. So that, I don't know what else there is out there, but that would be definitely one that I'd want to do. So
try kickball. That's an interesting sport.
We can do kickball. We can do kickball.
Interesting sport. Okay, Coach Wilkes.
I was going to say basketball until Coach Holmes said golf. That's actually a better idea than basketball. When I was growing up, I wished I was better at basketball than I was at football. I just wasn't. And so my life just kind of took me down the football path. But I do really, really love basketball. But spending my afternoons on a golf course and maybe getting paid a little bit to do it isn't a bad deal either. So I think I'm going to go with golf too.
Always good to get paid for something fun. And finally, for my 1A coaches, Coach Hatfield, what would you coach besides football?
Yeah, I'll stick with a similar theme here. Basketball for sure. Loved the game of basketball. Grew up playing it. I actually used to take it to Coach Holmes on the hardwood, and that's the truth. But a little bit of a different twist. I'd coach girls basketball. They listen better. You got to yell at them but once, and they'll probably get it done.
Yeah, they tend to listen a little more. And finally, Coach Cribb.
Oh, well, I think I choose deer hunting. Yeah, we were at a place now. We had to schedule practice last week around duck season, but no, I'm a football lifer, and like I said, I guess it had to be deer hunting.
Deer hunting. Okay, that's interesting. But at least you'll get to eat some. So now, athletes, excuse me, it is your turn. The question that I picked today for you all is, do you or your teammates have any pre-game routines or rituals that has to be done before every game, before you step on the field to play? I have to do this. I can't play. I didn't do my ritual. And we'll stay with 5A and White Knoll. So Jaden, what is your pregame ritual or routine, or your teams?
Well, with that being said, I can't necessarily think of one that we do. We kind of just go out and play. If you ask us, we don't really have no special like warm up routine. I guess you could say our T-Wolf Jacks. That's all we do every game, but that's about it. We don't really have a ritual.
So what about you? Do you have a ritual? Do you have to put your left shoe on before your right, or your socks on a certain way, or do you have a routine?
I don't.
Okay.
I'll just go play, honestly.
Some people don't.
He goes play. He just goes to play.
He just goes to play. Hey, that's what you play the game for. Austin?
I mean, I definitely say we turn up in the locker room, to the music. But me personally, I'll probably say I gotta have my pregame dunk. Take a dunk in the bathroom.
Okay, didn't expect that, but okay. We're gonna go on to Dutch Fork and Dakota.
I got two things. One, we always gotta make sure to pray, because God, He always comes through for us. Another thing is I gotta make sure I get a pregame nap.
A pregame nap. Okay. What about you, John?
As a team, yeah, like Dakota said, we pray before every game. And me personally, I always have the same trainer tape my cleats. That's just my only thing.
Same trainer tape your cleats. That's consistency. Okay, so now 2A, it's your turn. JT and Rylan, your pregame routines.
I wear the same pair of socks for every game, and then I tape up my hands a certain way. I always do my left hand with black tape and my right hand with white tape. So
I'm gonna look for that during the game. Try to anyway.
yes, ma'am.
For me personally, I always take a pregame nap. But I think as a team, we always have to have our music. If we don't have our music, then something's gonna be off. Something's gonna be wrong.
Got you. Oceanside Collegiate, Ben and CJ. So Ben, your pregame routine.
I throw up before warm-ups for every game. So I don't know why. I just throw up. I don't know if it's like nerves or whatever. But every game for like 3 years now, I'm throwing up before it. So yeah.
All righty. And CJ?
Definitely off the bus. The first song I like to listen to is Shoot It Out by J. Breezy. It's good.
All right. And so finally, we're going to go to our 1A players. And Johnsonville, we're going to start with you, Malik and Travis. Pre-game routines. If you have them happy.
First, make sure we pray with the team. Team always pray together. And then me and the center, we have to snap before games. And then right before we run out our curtain, me, Taylor Davis, and Paint Offer, we always pray.
All right.
We also gotta have one of our favorite songs. We turn over the team. I also go off to the side by myself, pray, give God thanks for letting me be there, and we go ball out.
All right. And finally, Christchurch, Jake and Deshaun.
Me and one of my buddies on the team, every Friday we go to Dave and Buster's in our last period of the day. And yeah, that's our game day routine.
Okay.
And for me, me and one of my buddies used to meditate. We still meditate now to this day. We love that mindfulness.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. It was interesting and fun to learn about some of the things that you all do off the field. And for the most part, that's all we have for our coaches and our athletes. I would like to thank all of you all for taking the time out to participate in the press conference with me. And I definitely wish you all well over the weekend. But before we go, let me tell you how you can catch these teams in action. All 5 state final games will be played at the Oliver C. Dawson Bulldog Stadium on the campus of South Carolina State University in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Class 2A, Oceanside versus Gray Collegiate, will open the state finals on this Thursday, November 30th at 7:06 p.m. Class A, Johnsonville versus Christchurch, will open play on Friday, December 1st at 2:06 p.m. And kickoff for the Class 5A game featuring White Knoll and Dutch Fork is Friday, December 1st at 8:06 p.m. Tickets are $15, and we encourage fans to purchase digital tickets at gofan.co. As a reminder, South Carolina State has a clear bag policy. Once again, thank you all for attending, and thank those who are viewing this press conference sponsored by the Carolina Panthers. South Carolina High School League would like to thank the Carolina Panthers organization for once again supporting the South Carolina High School Leagues through sponsorship of a football state press conferences and championships. The Panthers have been a great partner with the league. Thank you all, and this concludes our press conference.